Yo, everybody, I'm back. We're back with another one, back with another podcast. I know these things aren't super consistent, but the thing is, I don't want to put out anything if I'm not uh, feeling anything to be able to put out. So what I mean by that is I don't want to just be coming on here every single week, just talking nonsense, right? Talking stuff that I'm not learning along the way. So I only turn on the mic and turn on an episode for this podcast when I feel like there's something that I can actually talk about and something that I can relay on to you guys that may help you guys with your life. So welcome back to the LionHeart podcast, where we learn to have the heart of a lion in this jungle we call life. If you're tuning in for the first time, I appreciate you for tuning in. You won't regret it. This podcast is all about becoming the best version of ourselves, right? We're a whole community with this thing. That's what I want to turn this into. So I want to make sure every time you listen to this, any episode of this podcast, you're taking something away from it to be able to implement into your life and to make your life better. So this one, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of freestyling this one off the top of the head. I had a lot of stuff going through my head. If you're not aware, right, about 5 months ago in June, I lived around the Tampa Bay area in Florida, and then I moved out to Salt Lake City, so up in Utah, just to kind of switch things up and change everything about up until that point I had lived in the state of Florida, in different parts of Florida, but I had lived there for about 13 years altogether. So I just kind of felt like it was time to move and change things up a bit and get into a different kind of environment, which is why I moved all the way across to Utah. A lot of people were like, Utah, like, what? Why are you moving over there? But I had been there in the past, and I just loved the scenery, the mountains, the seasons, right? You don't get seasons very much in Florida, so I just wanted to change everything up, and to be honest, I don't regret it at all. I appreciate the time that I've taken over there, but over the past week, I've been able to come back to Florida, see family, see, a familiar environment. I had lived in this area for a long time, so it's been good to be back. It's given me time to really think and process things through again, and to kind of just take a reset. I'm the kind of person that I need a time to reset every now and then, because I have a tendency to just kind of overwhelm myself with a lot of things. So sometimes I just need that break to reset and kind of shift focus and shift gears and go back to what I needed to do in the first place. So it's been a great time of just kind of looking back again for myself. So with this one, like I said, this one's kind of, I don't even know what the title of this is going to be. I'm going to probably figure that out at the end. But I just want to kind of go over a few things. This might be a little shorter than I usually put out. But just kind of go over some things that I've been thinking about, some things that I've been realizing with myself. So as we know nowadays, mental health is it's a big issue, right? That a lot of people go through. And I know me, myself, I have a problem with that, which I work on, which I have to work on a lot, because I have a tendency to kind of overwhelm myself. And for that reason, I get super anxious. And then it turns into like a depression because I feel like I'm like failing at everything that I'm doing. So it's like a constant cycle in my life that continues to pop up, it seems like, that I have to work on to be able to change and not allow that to happen anymore, because falling into depression is not fun. So you always want to try to avoid that as much as possible. And what I've recognized with my own life is that the times when I'm able to not fall into that state of mind and be what you would call, I guess, happy, or just at least goal-driven, is when I have goals that I'm working towards, or I have things that I'm consistently doing in my life to work towards whatever goals I may have. So, for example, right, there was a period in time where I was working out continuously and everything, and I've made a lot of progress from where it is that I was at in the past to where I'm at right now. Like, I noticed actually coming to Florida, seeing the progress that I made. I'm like, oh shoot, okay, yeah, I was working hard. But I noticed for the past few weeks, I was kind of falling off a bit because, once again, like I said, I have a tendency to overwhelm myself, and then it kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It basically stops me from doing everything that I'm trying to do. And for that reason, I come to like a halt in everything. There's a word that I'm looking for, but my brain is not processing it right now. But with all the anxiety and with all the stuff that I'm putting on my own shoulders for honestly no reason, then it brings me to a stop in everything, and then I stop being consistent as I should be with everything that I'm doing. And what I notice is when I get to that point where I'm just stopping doing what I'm doing, and I kind of lose focus and lose sight of what I was working for in the first place, then I have a tendency to just fall into like a depression. I get down really quick. So what that's allowed me to realize is, in my own life personally, the times when I have to be working towards a goal or being consistent and stuff and pushing myself in order for me to feel happy and in order for me to be able to continue on in life in the proper way. So I can't just, when I find myself where I'm pausing everything and I'm coming to a halt in everything and I'm not doing much, those are the times when I'm least happy. Those are the times when I'm really getting down and I fall into a depression. It's only the times when I'm trying to break barriers and I'm pushing myself that I'm able to truly feel happy. And that's how I believe it is with everybody at this point. You'll notice the times when you're not doing anything, you're not pushing yourself to a next level, those are the times you're always going to feel the most down. That's what you see with most people who are depressed, anxious all the time, who have constant anxiety. It's because they're not pushing themselves to them. And obviously there's different scenarios. I'm not saying everybody's like that. There's different scenarios, but I'm talking specifically for the people who have a hard time getting started on something, or for the people who may have come to a halt in everything in their life because of certain situations, because of mental health, whatever it may be. But I've recognized in myself that only when I'm pushing towards a worthy goal, that's the times when I'm able to feel the most happy. That's the times when I'm able to feel the best in my life. So when I'm consistently trying to get better, right, leveling up in my body, my eating habits, my just life period, right, upgrading in everything in my life, financially, spiritually, um, lifestyle, my body, like whatever it is, when I'm working towards upgrading everything in myself, those are the times when I'm able to push even more. I'm able to have more energy throughout the day. I'm able to really push. But also, I have a tendency to try to push a little too hard beyond my capabilities, and that's when it makes me come to a halt, because then I feel like I'm a failure. So I was listening to a few things. I was listening to Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life, and I was also listening to a lot of his lectures. I like listening to him because it just gives me a lot of insight into a lot of things. But I was listening to that, and there was one part where he was speaking about schedule. So what I understood from it was, you need to recognize the things that are going to bring you fulfillment in your life. So I've mentioned this numerous amount of times, right? It's probably like playing like a broken record. But we have a tendency to look at social media and those people's lives and think we need to base our lives around the way that they live their lives. So they're doing their lives like this, they have this routine like this, then I need to do the same thing. But at the end of the day, that's not true at all. You need to figure out your life, right? What are the things that are going to bring you fulfillment? What do you need to do in order to bring happiness into your life? So you need to figure that out. Like, you don't want to just work yourself into the grave and not have any kind of enjoyment at all. So you need to figure out that balance. Obviously, you can't just all have playtime. You can't just have playtime all the time and expect to be successful in anything, expect to be happy, because life is about adversity. Life is about overcoming it and becoming better. So at the end of the day, you have to work hard. You have to do whatever it is that you're doing, but you need to base it upon your life. Work hard, but also, as they say, work hard, play hard. Also, give yourself whatever things it is that bring you enjoyment, then make sure that you work hard and then also do the things that you enjoy as well. Like, you got to learn to have a balance in your life, because that's what's going to keep you going. If you're working all the time, you're going to burn yourself out, right? Unless it's something that you super enjoy. There's something that brings you the happiness as well and the playfulness as well, then that's a different story. Maybe in that case, you could work all day long. But most of the cases are not like that. You're going to burn yourself out if you're working all the time and not doing the things you enjoy, not resting, doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, right? So I recognize that in my own life, and just figuring out exactly what is it that brings me enjoyment. Working hard, right? Making sure that I'm doing what I got to do. making sure that I'm taking care of my body, make sure that I'm working out continuously, and even upgrading that type of stuff, doing stuff that I enjoy doing to be able to make my body healthier. Making sure that I'm working hard towards what it is that I want to do. I have a lot of goals. We only have like a month left, and I still have a lot of things that I'm trying to do by the end of this month. So I'm gonna work hard to get attain all those things. I'm not gonna tell everything right now because it's personal, and I think it's a tough thing to let out your goals, because once you let out your goals, sometimes I don't know, I feel like it messes it up. So I like keeping it deep within and then going from there. But whenever you work hard and you do what you got to do, then those are the times that you're gonna bring the most fulfillment. But you gotta make sure that you have a balance, right? That's so important, because you don't want to burn out either. Because when you burn out, that's when you come to a halt and everything, and you stop doing absolutely anything. So you gotta learn how to have the balance in your life, and that's one thing that I'm working on even right now. Just learning how to be consistent, learning how to schedule everything out properly, schedule everything to where I'm able to do what I enjoy too. So it's kind of coming to that. And I've recognized too that when you get the tough things out of the way first, right? You get the things that you know you have to do. You may not want to do it because you have that resistance towards it. When things are hard in life, a lot of the times we have resistance towards it. That's why it's so hard to do it in the first place. Mentally, it's like that barrier that you have to break in order to be able to do it. But once you get it done, you have a lot more fulfillment in your life. So if you get all those difficult things and all the tasks of work done in the morning, in the afternoon, just whenever you're able to do it, and then you do the things that you want to enjoy and everything, then that usually results in a lot better results, because you can have fun now because you know that you did everything that you needed to do. So it's all about creating a consistent routine and just having that goal in mind. You gotta have the goals, you gotta have that purpose in mind in order to bring you that motivation that you need to do the things, right? Because if you don't have any goal and you're just kind of going through life aimlessly, you're not gonna have any energy when you're waking up in the morning. You're not gonna have the energy to do what you said you were gonna do throughout the day. Like, you gotta learn how to respect yourself, right? I know, if I remember correctly, chapter 2 in that book that I was talking about Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, is, I don't remember the exact wording, but something along the lines of treat yourself as if you were helping someone else, right? I don't remember if that's how exactly it is, but when you think about yourself helping someone else, right, you put every effort. Like, oh, why would you do that? Like, why would you go back to that relationship? Like, why don't you change it up? Why don't you take care of your health? Why don't you go work out? Why don't you work yourself out of depression? You have all this advice for other people. You have all these other things that you tell other people so that they're able to fix their life. Then why don't you treat yourself in the same way? Treat yourself in the same way as if you are somebody else helping yourself, right? You have a tendency to tell other people what they should do and think that they should listen to you, but you don't even listen to your own words. Now, I'm talking from my perspective too. This is the same thing with me. I don't even listen to my own words. So how am I giving advice to other people and telling other people what they should do to make their life better? Yet I don't even take that same advice for my own life, and I just keep letting it cripple down and go down. So stuff like simple things like that are important to input into life, and learn to focus on the things that are important to you, right? And just learn how to balance everything. Learn how to allocate your time properly. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on in life. We have work, we have a lot of stuff going on, and you may not be at the point that you want to be right now, but you gotta just keep working, right? You gotta keep doing what you can and make those things happen. But like I said, it comes from a goal. It comes from that purpose that you have in mind. If you don't have the goals, the purpose in mind, you're not gonna have any motivation to get anything done. And there's kind of a spectrum that comes from motivation, and some of the beginning parts of the motivation to get things done comes from pain, right? When you have that pain inside your heart, it pushes you like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, I'm gonna get all these things done. So maybe you need to start from that point, right? If you have pain in your heart, that type of thing, then use that as a motivation to get you going. And I think later on, once you're able to keep getting things done and everything, it's going to lead you to a happiness, a kind of joy, a peace that you may have never thought that you could find in your life. Whatever your goals may be, right? Like I said many times before, everybody has different goals. Everybody has different things that they're aiming towards. And to be honest, a lot of people look on social media nowadays, and just a lot of people's mindset is success means a lot of money, which is not true at all. Success is determined by you. And no matter what, actually, sometimes it's not even about having an insane amount of money, but it's just about being free, right? Not having to have all these worries about money all the time, financially, always stressing out and everything. More so just about being free, not having to worry about that thing, not having to worry about every single second. So you really need to figure out what is it that you want to do. And this is why I express my opinion of just taking a detox from social media all the time. A lot of people don't do it. And I know it's tough. Like, they make these platforms specifically to keep you addicted to them. So it's no wonder why people are not able to get off of them. But I think it's good to always take account of yourself and to kind of sit with yourself and figure out exactly what is it that what's going on in your own mind. Because we have a tendency to always have something plugged in. We have our headphones in. We always have something playing in the background. If you take at least every night before you go to bed, like 30 minutes, right? Read a book, write a journal, try to figure out what's going on in your own mind. Think about the thoughts in your own head. Think about, what is it that I'm thinking about right now? What are my innermost desires that I'm thinking about right now? And then take action towards them. Obviously, if they're bad desires, then figure out how to change them up. But figure out exactly what is it that's going on in your head. Figure out exactly what is it that you want. Because we have so many of other people's thoughts, right? Listening to other podcasts, listening to what other people are saying. My bad. Listening to what other people are saying, listening to what everybody else is thinking, that we have a tendency to forget our own thoughts. So figure out exactly what is it that is your desire. I think there's like 8 billion people on this earth now, and every single one of them is different, meaning you're not going to be the same as anybody else. So stop looking towards what they're doing. Obviously, take advice, right? Take advice and see. Obviously, you want to look at successful people. What are they doing that I'm not doing? And then take that into my life. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. Don't follow anybody else. But what I'm saying is their goals should not be your goals, right? Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different things that are going to bring them fulfillment in life. Then figure out exactly what is it that you want to do. I'm sorry if I sound a little weird right now. For some reason, I'm losing my voice. Let me take a sip of water. That might help. But you got to figure out exactly what is it that you want in your life. So, yeah, this one was kind of all over the place. Like I said, this one's a little shorter than I usually do, but I just, throughout this week, I had a lot of thoughts going through my head, and I just kind of want to make a quick bullet list, I guess, of everything that I just been thinking about. But I think it's very important to recognize the things that you're focusing on. Focus on the things that are most important to you, and get rid of the things that are just wasting your time, right? Things that are wasting your time, that are bringing no fulfillment at all, then get those things out of your life. I know there's one video from Better Ideas that I saw recently that I like the concept of it a lot. And he was talking about the snakes and ladders. So snakes and ladders are like enjoyment, things of enjoyment that you can feel. But you need to figure out what are the snakes and what are the ladders in your life. So a snake would be something that has a lot of temptation behind it, right? Something that you desire to do a lot. But even after you do it, there's not really much fulfillment that comes after that. That's a snake. It feels good to do it in the moment, but later on you feel regret towards it. You feel like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. It didn't bring as much enjoyment as you wanted. That's a snake in life. You want to avoid those things. But the ladders in life are the things that you feel the urge to do, and when you do them, you feel a lot of fulfillment after. Those are the ladders in life. You want to pay attention to the things in your life, and I'm not going to go into many specific examples. If you want to see about it, search up on YouTube, Better Ideas, Snakes and Ladders, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But you want to pay attention to this in your life, the snakes and ladders in your life, and focus on the ladders, right? Focus on the things that are going to raise you up and bring you up in life, and stop focusing on the things that are super tempting at first, but bring you no fulfillment in the end. Those are the snakes, and those are the things that you want to turn away from, because those are what is gonna bring your life down to the gutter again and again and again. So pay attention to the ladders in your life. Again, check out that video if you want to know what I'm talking about in the first place. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This one, like I said, it was just kind of off the top, so it's kind of all over the place. When I'm listening back to this again and editing everything, I'll figure out what I want to call it. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As you can see, this one's just an audio version. I'm not in like a very good setup area right now, so I was like, you know what, let me just get this out. It's better to get this out in audio form rather than just not put anything out at all. And to be honest, I kind of enjoy it like this because I don't have to worry about all the camera setup and everything. I just kind of get the mic out and start speaking, so it makes it a little bit simpler for me, and it makes, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time, please check out all the other ones, like all the other episodes. Every episode I try to go over something different that I've learned at that specific time. So this podcast has been going on since somewhere towards the beginning of this year, and it hasn't been super consistent with the episode drops. Like I said, I don't want to put anything out when I don't have anything to talk about, right? This whole podcast is about becoming the best versions of ourselves. So if I'm not putting anything out, then you can go back and listen to the old ones and take all the information that I'm giving out of those and implement it into your life. So, but I still am going to try to be a little bit more consistent with these. As I was saying, finding the balance in life. So I got to find that balance and figuring out and just kind of learning, reading more books, listening to more things that are going to help me out and allow me to learn, so I'm able to pass it on to you guys as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're listening again, if you're a returning listener, I appreciate you for listening to all the podcasts. I truly, really appreciate it, and I hope we can continue growing this into something massive where people are able to listen to this and really implement everything into their life and become the best versions of ourselves, right? Build a community in this way. This is my whole goal with this, is nothing else. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check it out, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and yeah, I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.